Oh, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Uh, Welcome to Marks on Wrestling. Jeremy is stepped out for a few minutes. He had to go take care of something personal with his family and all that, but he should be back in a little bit. Of course, my name's Donald.
Yep.
And there's Joe down there. Y'all introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kris.
And
I'm
that's
Joe.
So, like I said, Jeremy will be back in a little bit. Today we're talking about, of course, WrestleMania 40.
Right.
Pretty interesting show, to say the least. A few matches, on my opinion, were not up to par.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
We'll get into those as we go through the card and all that. A lot of build up over the past few weeks.
Honestly, I forgot what a lot of the other matches were because they were building up Cody and Rock and Roman so much.
Yeah, they had
until I started watching, and I was like, "Oh, Rhea, okay, yeah, I forgot about that."
Yeah, of course, tonight will be night 2.
That and the fact that I've got just a beef. I don't know if you guys think of this though, but when we're watching Raw and SmackDown lately, have you noticed that it's a lot more talk and a lot less matches?
Yeah,
you have that intro at the beginning usually, out talking, and
they sit out there for half hour, 45 minutes, jabbing their jaws.
Maybe, hopefully that stops with after Mania and cuts back a little bit.
Well, you got so much build up happening, and with different avenues, different matches you're trying to push, and all that. Of course, the big twists and turns of Cody and Roman, and with Rock and Seth Rollins going on, this past month or so. Took a lot of time up, and still don't know. With the outcome last night, I kind of knew, who was going to win that match. Just didn't know how. As far as that match was pretty good to me. I had a lot of action and stuff in it. So I'm gonna share this thing out here in just a second. So what are y'all thoughts on the first match, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch?
I was disappointed by that match.
It said Becky was running like a 103, 104. Yeah.
And she had strep throat.
Her outfit was definitely different for a different take on that too. I saw a lot of hate, like she dresses like a 19-year-old girl and she's 38 or something.
Well, Seth dresses like
Becky's closet.
Like he raided her closet.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I don't understand what I say that a lot.
Yeah.
This huge big blue fabric all rolled up here. It's like, this got to be annoying as hell to wear.
They were saying it was a hat, but the announcers were saying it's a hat, and I'm going, no, it looks like a rose, like a blue rose.
I was thinking it was what I want to say, like some kind of cosplay or something. He's just reminding me of some character I used to play as a kid, and I couldn't think of who.
Of course, everybody come out, and it's WrestleMania, and it's WrestleMania 40, so everybody was dressed up different,
right?
Different.
And I liked Rhea's entrance a lot. That was cool.
Yeah, I was I didn't get to really focus on the very beginning of it when it first started coming on because we were scrambling trying to get my Xbox and everything set up on the big screen or big TV in the den in there, and internet wasn't cooperating. So it was a pain in the tail. Finally got it going about halfway through the match.
Oh, okay. It's pretty cool.
I just made it back in time to watch it. I missed all the pre-show or the kickoff show. We got here just as they were starting the WrestleMania matches, and
right. I don't like the pre-shows much. I'll be honest.
Well, the pre-show is something you've already. They're just reiterating. If you've been watching the shows and all, it's kind of redundant. But I didn't watch the pre-show. I had a bunch of stuff going on yesterday, and I was just getting to the point where I could actually sit down and watch once it came on.
Yeah,
we had so much going on yesterday.
I had a friend tag me saying, "I'm watching WrestleMania now." I was like, "Oh shit, it's already on." Pardon my language, but yeah, I was like, "Crap." And so I flip over to it. I was like, "Oh, this is just pre-show."
Yeah. Yeah, an NXT on earlier that morning, which I think I watched the very last part of the last match.
I missed it.
I watched the 6-lady match, and I kind of had it on, so I was kind of And then I watched Roxanne Perez and whatever, that match, and then I watched the main event and the Dragunov match. So I pretty much watched it all without meaning to, actually. Yeah, they weren't bad. They actually show better than, I still think they show better than WWE. Night one, anyway.
Yeah, I'm just sharing our thing here, going through.
Yeah.
Spots, but
I threw it up to a few places.
The Rhea Ripley match, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, they come out and match was decent, I guess, considering her being under the weather and all. Kind of figured that Rhea was gonna, win that one. They're just
interesting combo to win. I like how she did her riptide into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, that was good.
I just figured she'd do it off the top rope when they were both up there a couple times.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. Seemed like they really went out with the outfits and the makeup and all on that.
Yeah.
I think they should have. They did this, and this is going back to the WrestleMania where Undertaker lost his streak. All right, lost the streak to I know they don't mention him, but who cares? Brock Lesnar. Right.
Yeah.
And then at that time we find out after that match is over, we find out that the Undertaker was under the weather.
Yeah, he had suffered a concussion during the match.
Well, yeah, he was also recovering from pneumonia and COVID or something like that. So his breathing, he was struggling to breathe a lot during that match. And I think, they've got so many backup stars and they should have backup plans. And I know we're in a new generation of Triple H because, Vince McMahon is gone, and thank God, because they've been rehashing a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah.
But why couldn't they, if the Undertaker's under the weather, and I've seen them do this before in the past, just replace that card and had Brock faced somebody else than the Undertaker that night. I know it was built up, but you can't. People's health should become a priority. Becky Lynch, she wasn't 100%. She shouldn't have wrestled that match last night.
Well,
right.
Well,
found another opponent for Rhea.
Yeah. Well, talking about that match with Taker and Brock. I mean, one, it's Taker.
Right.
It's a WrestleMania, thing for him. Number two, that's not Mark Calloway's way.
Yeah.
I watched.
Brock wasn't supposed to be the one to end his streak. That's just it.
If they were going to have anybody end it, one, it should have either been Roman.
Yep, it was supposed to be Roman,
or it should have been Bray.
That would have been cool. That would have been like passing the torch from Taker to Bray.
Talking about that,
passing the supernatural torch.
Right. Yeah. Brock didn't need that on his resume.
No.
He was already huge.
Yeah.
But I always like Heyman's promos after that. The one who put the 1 in the 21 and 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Heyman, he's been around wrestling for a long time. I mean, I watched, he snuck in to get in there at Madison Square Gardens to do what he's been doing. I mean, that takes a lot of balls.
Yeah, I watched him back. I watched him back in old wrestling, CCW,
AWA.
He was at CCW.
With he was Paul. What was he? Paul Ellering then.
Paulie Dangerously.
Paulie Dangerously. I that name Paul because he's back too in AWA.
Yeah. He was hanging around with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Missy Hyatt and and all that back in the day.
Looked a lot different.
But he had a ponytail and all back then.
And the big block phone.
I like the fact though that they sit there and show these documentaries and stuff like this, and you end up learning what they're really like behind the scenes. I mean, we might hate Paul Heyman, but man, behind the scenes, he's helped a lot of wrestlers with their careers.
Oh yeah, he's a legendary manager.
Just by giving them advice and saying, "Hey, I saw your match. You should be doing this. Maybe you should have done this."
Gave Stone Cold that interview that just busted him out. Well, it was ECW, but then he took the same character and became Stone Cold.
Yeah, I've watched a few documentaries, and I'm really enjoying the behind the scenes stories from the wrestlers. I just finished watching The Last Ride with Undertaker. It's like 5 or 6 episodes.
I got into an argument that lasted 4 years plus about the Undertaker. There was a friend of mine that swore up and down because he had that tattoo. It said Sarah on his neck. Right. Yeah. They said that the Undertaker was played by 3 different people. I'm going, no. It was played by 2 people one time.
There was
when it was Undertaker versus Undertaker. But the original Undertaker has always been Mark Calloway.
Yeah. I remember a guy
who just got removed.
I remember
written over.
Yeah, after the divorce and all that.
I was gonna say that was his ex-wife. So
that was kind of stupid though, putting his wife's name right here on his neck, as big as could be.
I know.
Well, back in it's been years, but they had a small wrestling organization here locally that was, they still do a few shows every once in a while, but they were bringing in Kosciuszko, Central Mississippi.
Oh,
okay.
But they had it, and they was billing the Dead Man, and this guy that was dressed up like the Undertaker and blah blah blah, and he was claiming to be, one of the Undertakers. Oh yeah, there's 3 of us, 3 or 4 of us, and it's like, and they even had a had a. I think they had a float in the Christmas parade. Had the dead man on there, and this one guy, was talking to the guy. It's like, yeah, man, they play. They have. Guy told me, they have 3 or 4, actual Undertakers that play that part, and I'm like,
only one.
Okay. Anyway, he started talking about it, and you see this guy, and I'm like, he's very overweight, and not extreme, but I was like,
right, yeah,
and he's like
for playing that
6'2".
character.
He's like 6'2" or something. I'm like, yeah, that's
And
not how that
Undertaker's like
happens.
6'6", 6'7", something like that.
But
Yeah.
looking at him, just facial, like, there's no way. I don't know who you're trying to fool that into.
When we had the local shows around here a long time when I was a kid, so 30, 40, 50 years ago, almost, not quite 50 because I am 50, but they used to build JYD coming in. Yeah, Junkyard Dog. Everyone, that place fucking sold out. Nope, it was Junkyard Dog 2, they claimed. And again, the only similarities they had was skin color, basically. And he came out to his song and did his moves, but once he walked out, you're like, that don't even look like him.
When I was a kid, AWA used to come around here quite a bit.
Loved AWA.
So I got to see like Andre when he was like just starting out, and he was just scary looking because of the long hair and all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then I saw Hogan before he became Hogan, and then we had the local famous guy out of Milwaukee that was famous here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Crusher.
The Crusher, yep.
Yeah, I met him like several times. He actually was at a wedding reception that I was at that I got taken to. My dad goes, "Oh, this guy's Crusher from wrestling."
Is he as big as they portray him?
Yeah, he was. And boy, could that guy drink. Holy cow, could he drink. And the more he drank, the more he drank, the louder he got and the more obnoxious he got. I mean, you knew he was there.
Yeah, I don't. Back in the day, I guess, my earlier years, just drinking and getting that buzz, and I was always a happy guy.
But I wasn't even old enough to even think about drinking back then. At that point, I was like probably 8, 9 years old when I met the Crusher at that wedding reception.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like in awe because at the time he was one of my favorites because him and Lord Alfred Hayes were going at it a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I go way back in wrestling.
Yeah. I read it and I like watching them. But
I'm probably older than Don.
How old are you?
I just turned 57 in March.
Yeah, you're just a few years old. I'm 52. I'll be 53 this year.
Nice. So Jeremy's the youngin of this group then when he's here.
I'm a senior citizen. I'm actually considered a senior citizen now. I get the 55 discounts.
You get the AARP?
Yeah. I've had that for a while though because I've been disabled.
Yeah, they keep sending me stuff in the mail.
I'm already getting stuff, and I'm only 50. So
yeah, I've been getting stuff from them for 10 years.
Yep.
Right.
They start early.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
should we get back on topic, guys? Or
yeah. See, the Rhea and Becky match was pretty decent.
I
didn't know she was sick and all that, so
yeah, I was expecting more, but she was sick. I give that.
I agree with you in saying, Joe, they should kind of card subject change, like they always say.
Right, and I was expecting that match, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. I was expecting that crowd to go nuts and say, "This is awesome, this is awesome," but it didn't. Becky wasn't all there.
Yeah, if
I like
was,
I don't.
Go ahead. Sorry, I don't understand maybe Triple H and them thought that that was going to be a really good starter, a lot better than what it was. If they were going to hype up the crowd, that ladder match would have been the one to go with. Good God, it was
Grayson off just a bit.
Expecting that to happen. I mean, Jeremy called it, and I agreed with him that was a perfect idea because those titles needed to be split and have them in two different ways, and it's not over. That was a stupid rule, but because it made them greedy little SOBs that I can't stand try for the second set as well.
Yeah, well, when they started talking about splitting, the match, they're splitting the titles up, and it's not over until both titles are claimed. I'm like, that's how they're splitting the titles up.
Yeah,
nobody's going to get both of them. But
they should have made Austin and Grayson Waller after they grabbed the titles. Well, now you're done.
Yeah,
that's what I think too.
That's what they should have done. But I didn't seeing them grab the first set. I really don't think they deserved it.
I would like.
That's kind of what they did by taking him out. I mean, they didn't tell him go to the back, but I mean they power bombed what's his name on that one, and I don't remember what they did to Series. They just basically kept him out of the rest of the match, minus one time when they ran up.
When they power bombed him off over the top onto that ladder, it was like, holy shit, that was
a holy shit moment.
My wife was having fun watching that one. She loves watching the wrestling.
I love that R-Truth and Miz won, though.
They deserved the title. Yeah.
Truth deserves
it, and Miz did too.
They did that. They did that good. I'd like to see
R-Truth.
Yeah,
love the hot tag. It made me laugh my butt off. And Miz going along with it. That was funny as
the tagging in and stuff.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Well, he's like the next. He's R-Truth. If you know anything about him at all, he's nothing like that.
Oh no!
Right? Yeah.
The guy's like 50-something years old. I think he's exactly 50. But he's kind of like, without the makeup, the next kind of Doink the Clown. He brings the humor into it in a very unique way, and I think that makes him a genius in that aspect.
Right.
Yeah,
Wikipedia says he's 52.
Because calling DIY Degeneration X, that was funny.
That was great too. What are they together? Regeneration X or something? There's 4 of them. Yeah. Loves the super kick and he didn't pedigree. I mean, he did his finisher, but it's essentially a pedigree.
Oh yeah, they took it to Priest. I mean, they destroyed him.
I expect seeing him cashing in tonight on one match or the other.
I expected them to pop out. I
think he's going to cash in on Seth.
That's what I think.
He's going to cash
in on the Seth
Drew McIntyre match, because I don't think Priest wants a sure thing when he cashes in, because he's been screwed so many times. Okay. He's tried to cash in and somebody, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, somebody screwed him, of cashing in.
It would make sense.
If he tries to cash in on the Roman Cody match during that or after that match, if Roman still has the belt, he's got the bloodline to worry about.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to take that chance of failing on the biggest stage on a cash-in.
I don't think they're with all the hype and everything. They're really pushing Cody. I don't see him cashing in on Cody. I think they'll have. It's like the Sami Zayn. I really kind of expected him to cash in last night on Sami. But I don't see them
I don't think
having that.
anybody's used the Money in the Bank contract to go after the Intercontinental or the U.S. title.
Theory went after the U.S.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't remember if he actually ever cashed in on that, but I remember that's what.
Well,
because he could never beat Roman or the other guy. They always were like at the last minute. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go after the other title."
yeah, well, it would be a good twist of things. You know, if you want to keep us guessing all that, everybody's automatically thinking, he's going after world title.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you cast on something a little lower,
or why not cash it in on the tag titles?
Yeah, and that could very well happen.
That'd be neat.
And, they get their tag titles back, and they make Austin Theory and Grayson Waller pay. Now I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
I was looking.
Don't like those two. I really don't.
Hopefully, they learn their lesson and not put these titles back together. Keep them separate like they should.
Yeah.
Because you do have a lot of tag teams out there that can, go after those titles now.
There will,
unless you're floating the belts all around and on a regular basis. That's the only way I want to see them reunited.
Unfortunately, we got screwed out of seeing a really decent tag team. I watched that Bray Wyatt thing.
Okay. I've tried to watch it and I dozed off on it, and I got to get back and watching it again.
All I'm going to say is the way it was kind of laid out, because you had Bo Dallas playing Uncle Howdy. Right. You were going to have brothers tag teaming. He had a whole new Bray Wyatt thing already made that no one saw. Right. And it was going to be Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy as a tag team. And, so that would have been the second time they were going to be together as a tag team. The first time didn't last too long.
After the whole, who put on that match? Who was the sponsor of the match? The Glow match. The Black Light match.
Yeah.
After it happened,
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Dark, whatever.
Yeah. After they did that match, it was like, he wasn't on TV anymore. It's like, you're building all this stuff up. What's going on that you're not pushing that whole?
Well, you'll understand a lot of it if you watch that documentary.
Okay.
And I'm expecting, and I don't want to give too much of the documentary away, but I'm expecting, after what we saw at the Hall of Fame ceremony when the U.S. Express got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, cool.
And during the night, if you were watching last night, you saw the fireflies.
Yeah.
Light up that audience. All right. It's not done.
Oh, no.
Bray Wyatt's story is not done. Bo Dallas, Alexa Bliss, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman are going to be the Wyatt family 2.0.
Yeah. Alexa, I heard her say that she wanted to play that when she came back.
They are coming back.
And who knows what happens tonight? You may have
and Bo's going to be leading the way. And they were going to induct Bray Wyatt into the Hall of Fame, but WWE got told by Rotundo, or asked by Rotundo, not to, because the family wasn't ready for that yet. They were still in mourning about that.
And I agree with it. I think, let's wait.
So you can probably guarantee Bray Wyatt will be inducted next year.
Yeah, it'll give them a whole year to really build up that whole Wyatt family
stuff this
year. So
that's just my prediction from what I've seen and read.
I had heard rumors Motor City Machine Guns might have been going to appear in that match, and was hoping. I liked them.
Yeah. Did you get to watch the Hall of Fame?
I did not.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I was looking at the inductees, and I'm like, I don't know if I really even want to see this. I just want to watch, Heyman, because the rest of them is like, it's like, and then of course they started out with Paul Heyman coming out.
Yeah, well, I wasn't too happy with them inducting Muhammad Ali. Yeah, okay, he was in the first WrestleMania. I get that, blah blah blah, and all that, but and then at the last minute, Rock's grandma.
Yeah,
there's something going to be happening tonight, and we're going to see a lot of them Samoans, I'm thinking.
That's what I was saying last night. Yeah. I was like, you're going to see Kishi and Sika.
I think we're going to see Jacob, and Jacob's going to be part of the bloodline, almost.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock's swinging that power around.
Yep. That's why I was thinking Cody would win last night, and then Jacob helps
me off.
Roman win. Roman wins. And then tonight, Roman would win with Jacob's help. And he's not bloodline yet until, Monday night or whatever.
Right.
But now they can do it with him being.
But Heyman, go ahead.
Heyman put on a good speech. And he more or less did his usual Heyman thing. He didn't give a shit what they tell him not to say. He said it anyway.
Right. That was the only time Brock Lesnar's name was mentioned.
Yeah.
Because during the video thing, he wasn't even mentioned or showed in that video documentary.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really. We were watching close.
Yeah, but he put on a really good acceptance speech and all that.
Oh man, he did.
He's a hell of a talker. So
he come out at about halfway through. He had this cardboard box up there, and I'm like, what the hell is this cardboard box?
I was thinking it was a new title.
I didn't know what it was.
I was thinking maybe it was new, like the hardcore title or ECW title or something that was going to be reinstated or something.
He about halfway through, he opened the box up and pulled out his trench coat and his headset and the big phone.
The ECW look.
Yeah, he brought the ECW look out and started
the ECW
really going
out.
He told a little joke about talking. Forgot what he was discussing, but he was talking about he asked so and so, and he's like, he asked Rob Van Dam, and Rob Van Dam was saying, go ask so and so.
Yeah, he didn't know how to be himself because he's always been Paul Heyman. Yeah. So he asked Rob Van Dam, he's like, for advice. Rod Dam told him something. I can't remember what Rod Van Dam said, but yeah, he said anyway like that. Yeah. He was having fun with it. He really was. He wasn't at that point being Paul Heyman.
Love you.
As we know it. At that point, he wasn't being Paul Heyman as we knew it.
Right. Nice. And then he started talking about his family. So I'm talking about his son and daughter.
And they were sitting right there, ringside.
He was discussing, don't let anybody squash your dreams. If you've got dreams, you keep going after them. Doesn't matter if you fail 1,000 times, you keep going after them. Pretty inspirational speech that he gave.
Yes, it was.
To me, the next better speech that was given to Lightning Bolt.
Actually, it was Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt, that's right.
Thunderbolt Patterson.
Nice.
He was a black wrestler back in the day, during the 60s and 70s when you had a lot of hatred, segregation, and stuff going on. And one of the stories that he told, which was this other guy that come up there and started his little speech and was talking about, all this stuff. And it was one of these things he said that there was a place in Texas, Austin maybe, or somewhere deep Texas. And he was talking about he had a show there. They were going to bring him in, and the sheriff told him that he doesn't need to come here, so don't send him here. And the sheriff's wife got murdered, and when he came, he went anyway, and they had drawn a composite of the killer, and it was actually Patterson that they had drawn out as the killer. Come to find out, it was the sheriff who actually murdered his own wife
and framed Patterson.
And was trying to frame him for it. But he got up there, and I don't know how religious y'all are or nothing like that, but he got up there, and when he started giving his speech, of course, man is very old, and it's hard for him to even stand up. Yeah, they had the wheelchair carry him up. He got up there, and he started talking, and his first thing was, "Can I pray with y'all?"
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And he started praying, and it was his whole speech was almost like old Southern preacher.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. I'll have to go back and watch that.
And
it was very impressive. And once he started, you were hooked.
Yeah, and he started talking, and he was I'll say this in the right manner. He was pushing very hard for community as a whole to come together and stop being segregated from one another. He said it several times, he said, "Stop playing the race card."
Yeah. And it wasn't just that. It was the hatred.
And it was like
all the BS that's going on in the world. He says, "Why can't we?" It was more or less his message was, "Why can't we all just get along?"
Exactly. And he said, he thanks God that he thanks God that God allowed him to be aligned.
Holy crap!
Aligned with good people. Through his career and all that. But I mean, his whole message was, unity. Everybody come together and stop all this bullshit, and be one. And of course, he got a standing ovation and all that. It was
yeah.
And you didn't think he could, looking at him how frail he was, you didn't think, but boy, that guy could speak.
He could. When he got up there, it's like, well, he's going to fumble through this like a Joe Biden thing, and he's going to.
Once that guy got going, it was like watching a preacher in an old Southern Baptist church.
Yeah, he was.
Nice.
Man, it was good. But Taker was there. He was at the induction ceremony. He introduced Ali's wife, I think.
Yeah.
New Day was there. Of course, they introduced Thunderbolt. And I really looked, going back to the ladder match, I really was there for a second. I was like, yeah, let's get New Day win the tag titles.
That's what I was hoping.
And now that would have been a better choice for me.
I like the Rocky Apollo Creed.
Yeah, for SmackDown.
Yeah, if they would have let them have the SmackDown titles, that'd have been awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, R-Truth and them,
they got the Raw titles.
Yeah, and it was
they deserved them.
That was awesome. Now, match itself was full of just oh shit moments.
Yep.
Yeah.
When
what's his name from Judgment Day fell, JD, that actually worried me. Like he might have caught his head on that.
Well, they overshot him a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Because he landed on the second table next to the barrier.
I still think he deserved it for getting involved.
He did.
Well, yeah. I'm talking legit worried though.
I think his head hit the first table and his body hit the second table.
Yeah, well, those tables are made to break anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But
when they don't break, that's when I get worried.
And if you overshot them, you can get hurt.
It's like, in our, my other profession, if you call it profession, but martial arts is like breaking boards and concrete and stuff like that. People ask, does it hurt? It's like, it stings a little bit. It hurts worse when it doesn't break.
Yeah.
But you don't gimmick them though.
No.
You don't gimmick them.
No.
You don't cut them halfway through and then fill them with wood glue
And it's really not. I mean, it's a big mistake.
You're a martial artist?
Huh?
You're a martial artist?
Yeah, I've been martial arts since I was 10. I've been teaching since 98. So that's my other gig.
I went through all that stuff when I was a kid.
I'm a paranormal investigator. Of course, I'm husband, father of 8. I got 2 granddaughters, 1 on the way. I got, of course, I'm a firefighter for 19 years. I'm a paranormal investigator and martial artist.
I'm impressed.
So I'm like,
firefighter. Wow. And you're still
know.
alive
Thank
and
you.
your face looks normal.
Do what?
I said you're still alive and your face looks normal.
Yeah, kind of. This is, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, there is some.
That's from shingles. That ain't from fire.
Oh.
I had the shingles back several years ago on an investigation in Tyler, Texas.
I went through martial arts as a kid for a while. We had a family friend, big black guy that I knew. They called him KK. His real name. Huh?
What style did you take?
I was in karate. You taught karate, and we weren't even registered on the books because we were family. He had a dojo right down the street from where I moved to.
Yeah, that's old school. Old school,
really old school
training.
He's like,
yeah,
I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself, and it just kept going from there. So, taught me all kinds of things. It wasn't really any one style, I guess, because he taught me how to use the nunchucks, throwing stars, different things like that. Over the years, I didn't ever get a belt or nothing because I wasn't on the books, but he said you should register, but you're not on the books, so you don't have to.
Yeah, and I know we're getting off topic here. Martial arts, as a general, has gotten softer over the years. Back when I was coming up and taking it, and there wasn't that many kids in it, not many teens or anything like that, and but it was old school training. No heat, no air, concrete floors. You get
no pads.
Nose.
Didn't have a lot of padding on the floors.
And my first place I taught didn't have any heat or air.
Wow.
And it was concrete. And about 2 months into winter, I was talking to the guy that was, of course, I was renting from the city. And it's like, man, I got to find something else because there's no heat.
You didn't find many of those places around in the 70s, not even in the big cities.
Yeah, it was.
You didn't find the dojos anywheres.
It was a rough
thing.
We would work out in the summertime, and we'd be, working out, getting a good sweat, and then we'd go to a neighboring class in a different little town about 30 minutes away. They had carpet, they had air conditioning, nice facility, and we're sitting there working out just as hard as they are. They're dripping with sweat. We're sitting there not even breaking a sweat. It's like, how in the heck are y'all doing this? Like, man, this is comfortable, man. It's like we work out in the summer heat in this building. Humidity is bad in Mississippi. It's like,
and to tell you that there's a reason why they do that. Then see,
yeah, it's
now when you go to the events, when you go to the events and those places are air conditioned and stuff. Yeah, it was real old school. But see, it all started out because he was a family friend. He came to the family reunions all the time. And because of, I didn't have the family name. These were my cousins, so their last name was different than mine. They had the Irish name.
Oh, Tom and Nick came in.
They sat there and he decided that it was time for me to learn to defend myself, because that family name, if people found out, people would want to try to kick your ass.
Yeah, it's a lot different nowadays. Even 15 years ago, it was a lot different, and may take some heat for this, but kids today are soft. They coddled too much.
Yep. I agree with you 1,000%.
So and stuff that I went through during my training, there's no way you could do it today, training the same way, because
Well,
you'd either
I
be
always say
lawsuit or be in jail.
kids today would have never lasted in high school back in the 80s.
Nope.
You didn't have security guards. You didn't have police officers. You didn't have metal detectors. Students didn't bring guns or knives either. You fought with your fists.
Well, I mean,
Right.
even back in school, it was not uncommon here, that you got a hunting rifle in your pickup.
I was gonna
Because
say,
Well,
always
after
in
you
the
got
back from the
done to
rack.
school, you're going deer hunting.
I lived in a big city, so that wasn't a common thing unless you lived out in the country.
But
Right.
back
Yeah.
then, it was no even thought of, hey, I'm gonna take this gun in here and I'm gonna shoot everybody up. It's
The
just
gun rack, 3 of them, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
yeah. It was just it's just different time.
Yep. Yeah.
It was a different time.
When I was a teenager, me and my buddies lived down the
Teachers
street.
would lay hands on you back then. They'd take your arm and try to break it. You go like this, and you're going to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Yep.
We it wasn't nothing for us to go grab a 22 and go squirrel hunting or go rat hunting in old barns and stuff like that. When we were 13, 14, I can't imagine one of my kids now today is like, hey, I'm gonna go get the 22 and we're going to the woods. They're like, what? Are you crazy?
Yep.
Our high school was set right behind a field, so literally, like, people would park it into the parking lot, and hunt. So they'd be still in the high school parking lot, and like, Jesus, I cannot imagine that today, even in my small town.
Oh no.
And it's still there. It's still in the same spot. There's still the field. I just can't see anybody doing that now.
That was what. See, I wasn't like that, but that's what they were like when I went to Oregon. Because I started out in high school in a small town called Oregon, Wisconsin, and those guys, the most of them had a gun rack and a gun or two in their pickup truck, and they'd go off in the woods somewheres or out on some private property somewheres, and they'd go hunting, squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, whatever, was in season at the time. And sometimes just to eat or for sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to go out target practice. We're going to go out and drink some beers. We're going to put the beer cans up there on the rocks after they're empty, and we're going to, fire off 22 for a while.
Oh, I did that many a time. Not the drinking part, but I would when I was a teenager. I'd go out and get bottles and cans and set them up, out in the woods and.
I did that when I lived out in Oregon, but I didn't drink. I was never a drinker anyways. I was always the old school stoner. I'm kind of a hippie.
Nothing wrong with
that. I was
that.
born in the wrong generation. I should have been born in the 50s, not the 60s.
In the 50s. I think I was born in just the best opportune time. The 80s were awesome to grow up as a teenager.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
If I had to pick another generation, it'd probably be the 50s or Old West. Of course.
Yep, I agree. That's my point of view too.
50s would have been great to grow up. All the hot rods and stuff.
The cars were great.
Yes.
Just different times. But anyway, let's get back to the topic, I guess.
Right.
Well, it happens to every show, I think.
Oh yeah, it does. But the ladder match to me was probably, I would say, probably really close to the best match. I really enjoyed the final match. But the ladder match, I think they should have led with that.
Yes.
At first, the crowd would have been so hyped up, even though it was cold as shit.
Yeah, that was the other problem they were having.
It was getting cold.
It was open, and the way that it was creating kind of a wind tunnel in there. You could watch it, like when Rhea and Becky, their hair was blowing in that wind.
Yeah. Just so, and I can't imagine paying that kind of money, for ringside season. You're freezing your ass off. It's like I wouldn't have survived. I'm cold.
I wouldn't either. Anyway. I was sitting there. I'm allergic to the cold.
Screw this. I'll go somewhere and watch it on my phone or something. But
see, in wintertime,
it's a good match.
And I don't understand the booking. If it's still going to be chilly at that time of year, why book Philly?
Yeah, or at least do it in an indoors,
in a dome.
Yeah, in a dome.
Yeah, that would have been my thought.
I mean, they've got technology, where I know the old one. Last time I went to a Brewers game, Milwaukee Brewers game, they closed the dome. Oh, that's a cute puppy.
Yeah.
Puppy, right?
Huh?
Still a puppy?
Yeah, this is Millie. She's very rambunctious, as you can see.
What kind of dog?
She's mixed. I don't know. It's my daughter's.
Nice.
So it's a mutt
dog. Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
In about an hour or so. Why?
My puppy can't get in here. I got it closed off.
I know. She'd be all over me.
If she was in here, you'd hear her.
Say that again.
Oh. I said if my puppy was in here, you'd hear her.
Oh yeah, she's rambunctious. She's still a puppy and all. Pretty good puppy, I guess.
Mine likes to be vocal because she's a Siberian Husky.
Nice.
She's a purebred, all white, almost all white.
I had Siberians. I raised
my older dog is a Husky Wolf mix.
I love dogs. I love dogs, but my favorites are the Huskies and
Huskies are great.
Mix when I was a kid. But that ladder match, that was really cool. They should have played with that. I agree.
That ladder match was good.
It was off the charts.
New Day coming out like Rocky and Apollo was great.
I didn't like the results as the first belts being won by
and they grabbed
balls, but
they grabbed them really quick too.
Yeah, they did.
I think they're going to lose them real quick too. Honestly,
I hope so. I really do. I don't like. I know he's a heel, but I just don't like how cocky he is. There's not a better word. Theory.
Waller. Yeah. Okay.
Theory. And I think he just needs to be brought down a notch.
He does. I think they'll lose him quick to somebody just because of how quick they got them. And
I think he needs to be humbled a bit, kind of like Roman Reigns needs to be humbled.
Yeah. And then we had Ray Andrade.
Yeah, that whole build up just seems like it was thrown together.
Yeah. I thought Ray was supposed to be teaming with Dragon Lee, though.
They beat him up.
Did I miss something?
Back, like on SmackDown.
I missed SmackDown. I wonder if he got injured or something and had to...
I think Andrade did it.
I was kind of leaning towards Carlito there.
That too.
Ooh. Carlito would be a good twist.
He looked guilty too.
But if they were gonna, claim it as being Carlito, then I was expecting Carlito to turn in mid-match, but that never happened. But so okay, maybe it wasn't Carlito. So I don't know. It's kind of those things keep us guessing all the time.
Yeah,
it was a pretty good match. Interesting moves. That double cross body thing they did was really cool.
That was wild.
I'd never seen that. And I was just kind of like, anytime they do a high spot, though, I'm like, just don't get hurt. That's the first thing that always pops in my mind anymore. Yeah. Just don't hurt yourself.
And that springboard off the rope.
I'm still trying to figure out what his motive is. He was with them jerk-offs to start with. And then he goes and says, okay, I'll step in, Ray, and be your partner.
That's true.
I mean, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if his wife whispered in his ear and saying, "You're on the wrong team."
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't be seen with a heel or or something, because he's married to Charlotte.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if I trust him yet to be with Ray. Ray should just keep his eyes open.
Well, you had the
Right.
match last year with Ray and Dominic, and then this is like I said, they really didn't do a whole lot of storyline
No,
leading up to this, and it just kind of
No.
seems to me like a thrown together match.
it was a thrown
put in
together
there.
match. But
And I didn't like the two eagles jumping in at the end. It was just kind of like,
I just wish
why?
Ray would have got a chance to use that belt.
Yeah.
But it was an okay match on my opinion. The worst match of the night was Uso versus Uso.
I think so. That super
was-
kick party just
That was just dumb. I don't know. Understand their thinking behind, because you're taking that many super kicks through the whole match. It's like now your super kick is not that great. It's just a
don't
regular
mean
move
nothing
now.
anymore.
It was kind of.
I mean, the super.
I was expecting that match to be one of those ones where the audience was going, "This is awesome, this is awesome," and it turned out to be.
This sucks.
It could have been, but they just changed it into a. I know you. I'm going to super kick, so I'll super kick you. So I'll punch you. So I'll punch you. So.
They should have done a lot more outside stuff. They should have really went almost hardcore.
Yeah,
in that match.
And if you.
That's what I was expecting to see, or
Yeah.
one of them pulled off something that's never been seen, and the other one wasn't expecting, or something like that.
And like ring psychology watch, if you watched who's the bad one? I always forget him. Jimmy, is he the heel?
Yeah.
Jimmy's the heel.
He was selling more like the face in that match with all those exchanges than Jay was actually. Jay just like took it and that's the heel thing. Jimmy, when he got hit, he'd like fall down
and between the two of them and their training of all of this, why not try a lot of submission moves and make the other one try to give up?
Right.
I
mean, it could have been such a better match.
That would have been a little bit better of a match than,
I wonder who produced that.
Stuff we haven't seen before them, that they do. But this super kick after super kick, slap here, come on.
And I get the super kick's kind of one of their signatures, but
but like I said, I mean, you did it.
It gets old after what was it, 10 of them or something like that.
You take so many of them, and you're still standing up and still going. It's like your super kick don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah. You take so many of them, you become immune to the pain.
It's already been devalued way since,
Yeah, that too.
Just in general, it's been devalued. It used to be a finisher from Chris Adams and Shawn Michaels.
All I know is I was expecting more out of that. I would have thought I would have saw more of the Samoans sitting ringside, like especially Rikishi. He wasn't there.
Yeah. I know. I was kind of disappointed in that. You'd think you'd see him being like, "Ooh, oh, yeah, go, no, yeet, no yeet."
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah,
it was kind of a lackluster.
So they couldn't even put the camera on anybody to kind of see the reaction.
Yeah.
What happened to that stuff? I mean, I thought this was supposed to be a new generation.
Right. I mean, they did for other matches, but.
And then this whole storyline switch with Cody, this was all because the fans demand it, according to Triple H.
I know.
And what I've read.
Do you think, and we're getting ahead of it, but do you think that Rock coming out would not have got booed as much if Cody would have been like, "I'm letting him take him down a notch. I'm going to let him do this." Fully explain it instead of just being like, "Here's Rock. He's going to kick butt for me."
I still
Do you think the fans would have been happier with it? I mean, they still wanted Cody to finish the story, but
I'll wait till we get to that.
Yeah, totally.
Into it.
They've got a documentary or something coming up on YouTube on Wednesday. That's behind the scenes on WrestleMania 40.
But that I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious who produced the Jimmy and Jay match now. To think it would be a good idea to just exchange back and forth.
Well, they hyped that up so much, and you thought it would have been. I mean, I wasn't even on the edge of my seat for that match, and I should have been.
Yeah,
I mean, the way it was hyped, it could have been could have been almost a main event style, but not the way it was produced and laid out. That was, yeah.
It was like all hype and no.
Yeah.
Saying go all hype and no shit.
I know, I'm losing it too. I know what you're trying to say, and I'm just like, all
hype and no show.
Yeah. All
there you go.
That works.
Lots of sizzle, no steak.
Yep. This thing looks really good, but it tastes like shit.
Yep. Here you go. Enjoy your 90% fat, 10% meat steak.
I mean, you've got these two guys, and it's again what they say. It was like the third time it was real brother versus real brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you had Owen Hart versus Brett, and then it was the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Or the other one, Matt versus Jeff. So, but this is the first time you've got identical twins.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You should have. You hyped it up so much. God, they failed.
I think that's why they were doing that whole move for move thing.
Who's got the better super kick? You know.
That's why they're doing the move for move, because they were identical twins. You know, so they mirror each other, and that's why it would have been great for one of them to pull out like a 360 triple Lindy moonsault, or
try to make the other one give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something neither really are known for.
Arsenal from the training. And I also noticed my wife pointed something out. Do either of you know anything about tribal tattoos?
Very little. Not enough to.
Well, I know I heard, and I don't recall if I'm right, but I do know how they get them by bamboo shoots the old-fashioned way.
Right, I knew that. And that's about it.
And I know it has something to do with they have to pass, a certain test to get the ones that they've got, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's got anything to do with their hierarchy or not. But if you look at all of them, Jay's got the most. His full back is covered.
Yeah, that's true.
And his full chest and his arms are sleeves. The rest of them, it stops here, only does a little bit. Jay's got the most.
Okay. That's interesting.
So wouldn't that, my wife's like, wouldn't that make him tribal chief then?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know nothing. I know not. All I know is, about the royal family, the dynasty, who they are, and how they're related. I don't know nothing about the Samoan
culture.
Yeah.
Right.
I
mean, that would make sense.
I do know that if they are still going by the old-fashioned ways, okay, those tattoos are extremely painful to get.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because they're not done with a tattoo gun.
Right. You're just sitting there.
Right.
Yep.
Jabbing.
With like bamboo shoots that got sharpened.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Damn.
No.
I know. That has to be worse than like 1,000 shots or blood draws. Or
I've got one tattoo right here.
I've got 3.
And when I first got it, I was like, you're kind of nervous and all. You get your first one, it's like, God, I hope this doesn't hurt. And people ask me, well, did it hurt going in? It's like, no. I said, you know what it felt like? It felt like somebody took a ballpoint pen and they were pushing really hard, on it. And I said it was tender in one little spot. Actually, 2. It was tender on, like right in here and then right back here. But the arm, it wasn't nothing to it.
Cross. Is that a cross, Joe?
No, that's dagger.
Oh, dagger. Okay, I could kind of see the hilt or whatever. Now that
and it's got TCB in there.
Oh, nice. Taking care of business.
Yep.
Not the rip.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Right.
I see the sign.
And then the other one on my other hand is a royal flush.
Nice. I had a royal flush right before we came on.
And then the ribbon, and the ribbon, and in the ribbon down here it says "Life's a Gamble."
Nice. I have a onk in the middle of my chest, and the only time it hurt was when they pulled across for the T part, because they and that hurt for like 5 or 10 seconds. And
then I got my first one's up here. It was it's a wolf howling at a blue moon.
Nice. Do you drink Blue Moon?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought maybe.
I was out in the garage with my buddy and we were smoking some good shit and listening to a guy named John Eddy and a song called 40. Okay. And that was right around the time I was 40. And they would have it's I get a text from my daughter. She says, "Have you looked outside yet?" And I said, "No." She says, "You should look outside." And I said, "Why?" "Oh, there's a blue moon out there."
Nice.
It's like, oh wow. So I went out, took a picture, and that's when I decided that that's what I wanted.
Very good.
Mine I've been talking about for years about getting one, and of course I think my oldest daughter was she's probably less than a year old, I guess. She'll be 30 this year, so it's like a 29 year. It's a dragon, an Oriental dragon here, and he's holding a yin yang symbol in the middle of it.
Cool,
and
cool.
Of course, tattoo was like the dragon and holding that, and then the black was going to be black, and the white portion was going to be skin color. So I had them change to the Korean flag colors because I teach Taekwondo, and that's on their flag, and that's what the yin yang is the blue and the red in there. So
that's cool.
I wanted to get something. I was going to get something. I was like, I want to get something that's not going to look stupid when I'm 90 years old.
Well, I still got to finish. I got to finish this one because I got to get the word "survivor" arched across the top of the moon.
Yes, you do.
My other tattoo that I was always wanting to get was either a striper tattoo, because that's my favorite rock band.
Nice.
Or I'd actually thought about getting the Dangerous Toys clown. Have you ever heard of Dangerous Toys?
No.
It's a Texas band back in the 80s. Had this killer looking clown, this demonic looking clown on the covers.
No, I wasn't listening to a lot of things most people listen to.
That's what everyone was saying. Okay, yeah. Mine is because I kept losing my necklace that had the Ankh on it, and I got tired of it. My friend's like, "I'll buy your tattoo for your birthday." So it was just as simple as that. Nothing, no big stories or
just,
symbolic
just,
or anything.
Just that, yeah.
Yeah, I had like 4 of the necklaces, and somehow they kept getting ripped off. Or I played a lot of sports, and someone would foul you and it'd go flying. Hulk Hogan style, rip cut me. And my friend finally said, "Give me a tattoo. I'll get you a tattoo of it so you don't have to keep
losing it."
Yeah. And I was supposed to have the chain kind of around it too, but I never got back to that. So now it's just
that.
Yeah. And I want to get another one, but Metatron's Cube, I don't know if you know what Metatron's Cube is, but Google it. It's easier to see a picture of it than. It's got every major shape in it. And yeah. And I want to kind of put it right here on the front of my shoulder facing forward instead of on the side like everyone does.
Oh, man. But yeah, ladder match had a lot of oh shit moments. A lot of crazy stuff. And towards the end of the match, you could see the refs saying something to Damian Priest.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that one grabbed him and pulled on him.
Was saying something to him, and I'm like, what's going on? It's like,
I don't think he realized it was the ref at first because he kind of like kicked back a little bit.
I think she was trying to tell him
about the ladder.
About the ladder, because that ladder was,
one of the legs on the right side was, it was messed up.
I was getting worried about that, honestly.
And of course, they climbed up there, and then they got knocked off, and then they, took the opportunity to throw the ladder out. And
when I saw Miz run up there, I was like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, R-Truth.
Miz ran up it to stop whoever it was, and that third leg started. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, it's kind of improv here on the ladder thing.
Yep.
Throw this one out and get us another one.
Man.
And I think he hit one of your two favorite people there, Joe, when he threw that one ladder out.
Yeah.
I think he hit Waller.
What about the
maybe it was Theory.
Spin?
That was cool. That was a unique maneuver.
Yeah, well, over the years, I think we've seen quite a bit of bullshit in those ladder matches.
Yeah. My mom walked in right when that was going on. She was like, "Oh crap! I hope he's okay." I was like, "He is." She knows it's not real either, but still. So it's not like she was watching it thinking it was, but
yeah. Who else went through a table? R-Truth set a table up on one side, and someone
else went through one too.
They set quite a few tables up.
Yeah, it was
they got
R-Truth got his and set over on the other side, and
Finn. I'm just looking at the names, trying to remember. Finn, Damien, Gargano, Ciampa, New Day, Kingston Woods, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. Didn't seem like they were in there much. Speaking of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They ran up like the ladders near the beginning, and then it didn't seem like you saw them much after that.
Yeah, New Day wasn't in it a whole lot. It seemed a lot of the action was on the outside of
the ring, and
and to be fair, I was a little bit distracted during this match with home stuff. So,
well, when they did that slingshot off the rope, man, that son of a gun sailed through the air.
Oh yeah,
they showed it in slow motion. It's like, good Lord.
That was.
He went all the way into the aisles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that match we saw a lot that you haven't seen before. That match didn't disappoint.
No.
Except for the outcome.
Like I said, they got the tag. The SmackDown's too quick, and then you had, it seemed like the more than half of the match was trying to get the Raw tag titles.
Yeah.
But I am glad they finally split it up and go back.
Well, Raw's going to Netflix, so I'm sure that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, we still got a good 9 months of that before that happens.
Yeah. That's I won't be able to watch Raw then. So
they should have broke those up after the Usos lost the titles.
Yeah. And I'm glad they finally broke up too, by the way. I'm not defending that in any way.
Yeah.
Well, that's also signs that I think it was, I'm not sure if it's official or not, but I heard something about them bringing the draft back after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
That would be good. That'd be a good way to mix things up a little bit more.
If they keep it solid. I don't like how they like draft, like, I'm just looking at the name here, The Miz and Truth to SmackDown. And then like 2 weeks later, they're doing stuff on Raw again. And again, I'm just picking names randomly. I don't mean literally them, but I don't like how they do that all the time, except for special events. And
yeah, and it's not going to make people like Jade Cardell, for example, when she just came in and signed a contract with SmackDown by her choice.
Right.
You know.
So then she gets drafted to Raw. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure with that on in play, I'm sure they'll keep her there.
Yeah, and didn't Braun sign with SmackDown too? Isn't that his name? Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Not sure which. He's been kind of on the back burner for a while since the signing. The big talk about getting signed.
Kind of want him to use his real name, but he won't.
Yeah.
Not at this point in his career. He may, later on down the line, do the whole.
Well, they think they can make more money off of him if they make it more public, but they can't make it any more public than they already do anyway. It's just leave him alone. I mean, he's made a name for himself as Braun Breaker before the announcers started saying, "Oh, his dad and uncle were the great Steiner brothers." I mean, he made a name for himself as Braun Breaker.
They won't, because they like to make their own names.
I think he should keep the name Braun Breaker. I mean, they've already made it publicly known. They don't need him to change his name to make it even more publicly known.
He will until he goes like to AEW. If he went to AEW, then he'd be whatever.
Well, I could see if he went to AEW or something like that. But if he's just gonna move up the ladder to go from NXT to Raw or SmackDown,
just stay Braun Breaker.
Stay Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, you already know. I mean, the doghouse, the Steiner recliner.
He already kind of does that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Rick. It was Rick that did that. Dogface Gremlin, he was called.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back when
and then you got Steroid Scott.
Yeah, back when Scott could actually move.
Yeah, before he became Steroid Scott, he was great. Steiner mask. Don't forget that Steiner mask, Joe.
When they brought him in back and made him, I guess he fought Triple H when they first signed him in, and that match was just, oh my God, it was crap.
And him and Test for Stacy, and
he couldn't freaking move. He had like 2 moves: throw him in the corner, beat the crap out of him, and do the belly to back, and that was it.
Yep.
You're so steroided out, you can't move anymore. Yeah. I remember watching that match, and they were just getting booed. This is boring.
Should have stayed back. He shouldn't have. I don't know why he did that. And
that's another Vince McMahon, decision. Bring him in. You got to get.
And you could tell with it, even though he turned heel, but you could tell that roid rage was there.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the whole thing about turning heel or his steroid use was the reason his brother quit. One of the reasons his brother quit working with him.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, next match. 6-women tag match. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi.
It was obvious Jade wasn't going to sign a contract and lose her first match.
Yeah, I was going to say, we knew Jade was winning.
Yeah, so we knew.
I got to say, Dakota Kai, damn. That outfit.
Match wasn't that long.
No.
Had a few highlights and all that. As far as the match itself, I really couldn't get into it.
Yeah. I mean, you knew who was going to win. There was none at all like mystery or.
No.
Yeah, I would expect to see, maybe some outside interference from shit. I almost said Zane, Io Sky.
Yeah, Io Sky.
Yeah.
She wasn't even there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as outside interference,
she wasn't ringside with those three. So
yeah, as far as outside interference through the whole night, you really didn't have anything.
Really.
It was standalone type stuff. Now that leads me to believe tonight what's going to happen, because being WrestleMania 40, I would expect to see Taker in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Somebody says something, he comes out there and smacks their ass and goes off. I mean, it's WrestleMania 40.
Well, didn't he go off on LA Knight at one point? And we got LA Knight AJ Styles tonight.
There's also the possibility that he could be maybe introducing the new Wyatt family under Uncle Howdy or something.
That's true.
Could.
Just a theory to throw one out there. That was just a thought of mine, but WWE wouldn't hire me. I do. Well, I wouldn't rehash as much as they do.
I'd hire you.
I mean, I've got a better creative mind than they do.
When I stumble across like 15 billion and can start my own company, I'll hire you.
There you go.
I started watching wrestling. I guess I've been watching wrestling for about 50 years.
Nice.
Mine's been about.
Because I started when I was about 7 years old. We started
about 40
on TV
for me.
Yeah,
about 40 for me as well. Somebody at work was asking me.
And then Vern Gagne's thing was coming to town at the local the private college, so my dad always got tickets every time they came to town, which seemed like it was once a month, sometimes twice a month.
Right.
Yeah, I was having a discussion at work the other day, and we're talking about. He was asking me about something. I was like, "No, I'm watching wrestling this weekend," or it was Friday. We were watching Friday Night SmackDown. I was like, "Really, wrestling again?" It's like, "Yeah, it's WrestleMania coming up." It's like, but it's it's all fake.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not. It's predetermined.
Yeah.
So
I say
just don't get it. Why do you watch
it? Well, it's predetermined. These guys, they rehearse their moves and stuff like that so that they don't get hurt as much as they did in the old days. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes, yes, the injuries are real because of mistakes made. Okay. And sometimes they're fake because
somebody needs a break.
Right. They need a vacation for a bit. So it's their way to say they're going to be back. And a predetermined amount of time determines the injury, that they have.
Right.
I always tell people when they tell me it's fake, I was like, did you enjoy that last Ghostbusters movie? Yes. Well, that's fake.
Oh.
There were the people actually running around with proton packs.
Yes,
You enjoy your little whatever. No offense, my mom's been watching Station 19. I was like, you enjoy that? Yeah, well, that's fake. Have you ever watched Station 19, Donald? Or Station 13?
Hold on just a second.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Jeremy.
Wow, cool. Cool. Updates, any?
Yeah, he said it's taking a little bit longer than what he expected. Nick is
that's fine.
Going to come on and end the stream.
Okay, that's fine.
When we're ready.
Yeah. Have you seen that Station 13 or 19, Donald?
I have not.
Mom watch. I don't know. I'm just asking. It's a firefighting kind of thing, and they deal with a lot of the real stuff, like like real life things that have happened. Like in COVID, they actually wore masks and did the.
Yeah, we did all that.
Just curious. I'm curious, how, because I don't know. I've never been a fireman, so I'm always just curious how realistic stuff is.
In the movies,
because I know I've watched. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
A lot. I haven't watched that, but in the movies and all, and what's that show that comes on all the time? Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
We're a small town. We're a small city fire department. So it's your bigger cities, especially that are unioned. You're hired for a job, and there's a lot of politics involved in all that stuff. Bigger stuff.
Right.
But, you're hired for a job. Say you're the engine driver. You're driving the truck. Your job is to drive the truck, get it there, get it set up, and whatever tools is needed off of that truck, that's what you're in charge of. They even have guys that like big New York City firefighter. You have hydrant guys. They're there for supply. They get there, they supply to the truck. That's all they do. Then you got your attack guys. That's all they do. You got rescue guys. That's all they do. Smaller departments like ours, we do it all. Everybody knows. Everybody knows how to drive it. Everybody knows how to pump, with the exception of new guys that come in.
Yeah, they come out here and test they come out here and train.
Hydrants.
They hook up the hoses to the truck, and then they train people with the hose, shooting it out into the pond, the big pond that's across from me.
We have training that we do
2 or 3 times a year during the summer.
Big misconception, and there are some stations that I would guess would do this.
I videotaped them once and put it on YouTube, or on Facebook.
Yeah, we got there's misconception a lot around that. Firefighters, they go in, sit down, watch TV, sleep, whatever.
They train.
No, we from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock every day. We have something that we're doing.
Yeah, they
get in, check our trucks.
We're a very small town. We have I think 3 or 4 on staff paid, and everyone else is volunteer. And I had a volunteer friend, and we were watching some movie one time where something caught on fire, and he started. No, they wouldn't use that. They'd use a 3.5-inch hose, or I can't remember the numbers, but he started spouting out the right numbers. And
they use that water cannon out here too.
Well, that would be
on top of the truck.
That would be each fire department has their own SOPs, standard operating procedures, which if this happens, this is what you pull, this is what you do, blah blah blah.
Right.
But every day we get there in the morning, check trucks, and we have truck radio check, and then after that we're washing engines, and then after that we have daily duties that we do.
Yeah.
Something we have to.
I knew that.
Clean up the station, or cut the grass, and this is all. We're doing all this stuff every day, something different every day. But then there's that chance that we're getting a call at any point in time. So you stop what you're doing, go take care of that. You come back and finish up what you're doing. But then after we get done that, it's usually lunchtime. If we get done our stuff, we take lunch around 12, and that can vary depending on what we're doing. That's kind of up to the captain on duty, which I'm a captain. If we're almost completely finished, with whatever we're doing for that day, it's like, we'll take a late lunch. We'll go at 12:30 or whenever we get done. Because that's just the way I run mine. Is like, we got 30 more minutes of work to do, and then let's just go ahead and finish it up. We'll take lunch, later. So we do that, and then after that, after lunch, it's training, whatever training we got on the schedule for that day.
I see him out here all the time.
And then we got PT after that. We do PT in the afternoon, and then the captains do PT in the morning and the afternoon, and then in the morning before we leave, we go to the gym and get on the treadmill or the bike,
treadmill on,
and then do that, and then we're there for about 30, 40 minutes, and then we go back to the station, finish up mornings, clean up, and then we're out of there at 7 o'clock.
Nice.
But we're shorthanded right now, so we're having to do some double duty here and there. So it's crazy time right now.
My friend actually did that, and I just remembered we were doing a role-playing game where our headquarters had caught on fire. And so he's like, so he started doing all that, and our DM was like, yeah, you know that, but does your character know that?
Hey, I'm not going to take up too much of this because we're on wrestling, but I'll give you something to look up. I'm in Wisconsin, so remember that. Okay, look up Central Storage Warehouse Fire. All right, or CSW. All right, or you could look up the Great River of Butter or something like that. All right.
Oh goodness, that sounds messy.
This happened like 30 or 40 years ago. I can't remember the exact date anymore, but I worked that fire.
Did you?
I was security.
Oh wow!
For Pinkerton Security, I was an on-site supervisor, a sergeant, and I worked that fire. I pulled 72-hour shifts, Friday to Sunday or Monday morning, working that damn thing.
Yeah, the last one we had was a 2-day fire, which those really take it. And it was in the middle of the heat too last year. It was horrible. Right. You couldn't go in, and it's this big metal building, office building. It was completely metal and exterior.
Yep.
So it's like it's got brickwork on the inside also.
This
so
fire,
it's like a big pizza oven when you go inside.
This fire, I don't remember how long it lasted, but the aftermath from it lasted for years. It created, all right. CSW is a warehouse that hosts government butter and cheese and hot dogs.
That would be.
And one of the forklifts started the fire. There was a faulty forklift. Okay. And
was that by Madison?
Yes, it was in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a story.
It created a massive river of butter and cheese and hot dog. And
I can imagine the stink.
There's like an off ramp off a major highway because it's just like on this road that goes under it. So you've got, how some of those off ramps, they got that kind of area that's like a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the culvert that runs along the railroad tracks there. That whole thing was full of butter and cheese, melted butter and cheese. And they didn't do anything to really clean it up. So
it turns into a hazmat scene.
Yeah. So after a while, that smell lingered for about 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Or more.
I mean, it's a massive cleanup there.
I had to burn my boots or basically throw them away. I had to throw away, I don't know how many uniforms because you couldn't get the smell out of it. And no matter how many times I shampooed my car, I couldn't get the smell out of it. So I just junked it and bought another one because back then you could buy cars out of the bargain corner of the newspaper for $150 that would last you 2 years.
Yeah, when we get a house fire, it takes 3 or 4 showers to get that house fire smell out of your hair and off your body. It's just.
Well, I had the damn polyester uniforms too.
Oh goodness! But we're fortunate. We're a small community, small city, and you know, like I said, we do training every single day. We're constantly training.
Oh,
And right now we're at the position where there's a lot of us that are a lot older and we're getting close to retirement. So, I mean, within 10 years, there's going to be a big shift at our fire department
yeah.
because everybody's a lot older. And like I said, we're getting close to retirement. I got 6 years left. And it's, some guys have, 3 or 4 years left. Then there's some that's got, 10 years left. So, or 8 years left. So it's going to be a big shift between now. So it's our responsibility, the past several years
Oh,
to
yeah.
really start harping on these younger guys and teaching them and training them right. So, because eventually they're going to be in our spots and they're going to have a bunch of younger guys coming in, and you got to make sure those guys are trained right and they can carry on the traditions of our fire department and all.
Yep. Yeah, I used to see them train all the time. Madison was a big city, but they had like some of these smaller kind of, I guess, suburbs you would call them.
Yeah.
That had their own fire department, so they'd be training somewhere close by, and you'd see them like whenever you go to school. That sometimes in the morning, the school bus would go down one of the major highways, and right there in this big parking lot area, they were starting a controlled fire and training the guys.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of fires, so the training is what keeps us
on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just becomes, the natural
I
reaction.
didn't quite shut my door and both dogs came in here.
And that's kind of like, going back into martial arts stuff, it's like, it's repetitive stuff over and over, doing these certain moves over and over so that your body does these without you thinking about it.
Yeah,
it has to naturally react.
It ends up, it's reflexes.
Yeah, you've got to train your body to naturally react to whatever situation comes up. And it's the same way with firefighting,
Yep.
And the mind over matter type, the meditation stuff doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, and
because my sensei, God rest his soul, he taught me a lot more than just the martial arts.
Yeah, and it's not just martial arts is not just kicking, punching, learning this, learning that. It's a lot of mental strength that I teach my students.
I went to his funeral and I walked in there and I was like one of the few white guys in there looking at me like, how did you know KK? And it's like, see those big guys over there? I'm related to them. Oh, you want the Killer Lanes? Kind of.
Yeah,
I don't have that name.
I'm a firm believer with my class. I try to keep it as old school as I can possibly. And in today's martial arts, I'm switching gears here. But my theory on the martial arts has gotten very soft because you have so many what they call McDojos out there that'll turn black belt, 8, 9-year-old kids into give them black belts.
This guy was very old school. He passed away. He was like 70 something. He passed away this year.
We went to a tournament a couple weeks ago, and we were me and another guy. We have the same instructor. Our instructor's kind of retired now, and we were talking about how things have changed over the years, and because there was a few students out there that were 10, 12-ish that were wearing shoes, competing in tennis shoes. And then they were brown belts and they looked horrible when they got up and did their kata performance. their forms, and I was like, oh my God, these.
I don't know how you could do that. I mean, my mom, when I was a kid, my mom had a hard time keeping me in shoes. I'd always kick them off before I'd even go outside. I didn't like
I do
having
too. I still
feet.
do.
I was
Yeah,
always
it's like,
I was always barefoot. You know.
but we were talking about that, and it's like, you got um, these high ranked kids that are close to black belt, and they look like garbage. It's like, and then and I don't blame the students, I don't blame the parents because they don't know any better.
No,
This
it's the
this is
teacher.
it's the instructor, and in reality, he may not know it any better because he was trained in a certain way.
Yeah.
So generations of black belts are coming up and instructors are coming up that it's something we do right now, something for fun. And I ain't saying that it's not fun. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy teaching, and you got to make it fun to a certain point, or
No.
they're not going to stick around. But you still gotta train right, and not just give them their rank. I always tell them, it's like, if anybody asks you uh, who who gave you your blue belt, red belt, whatever, it's like, well, nobody did. I earned it. I said, that's correct. You're gonna earn what you get. I'm not gonna give it to you. It's like, if you don't
Nice.
put in the work, you will not rank. You will not. If you can't get this stuff down, you're gonna stay right where you're at. You know. So, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to balance the business side and the instructor side of it too.
When, in my
Right.
generation, when I was young, my mom was alone raising me and my brother, so we didn't have a whole lot. So I spent a lot of time there by choice. You know, so you know, my mom wasn't paying for it, and it's like something to do. I wasn't getting in trouble. I was learning how to defend myself. You know, and that plus a lot more. But I'm saying it was a wonderful experience for me as a kid.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as long as I've been teaching since 98 ish, 97, 98. Started as assistant instructor with my instructor, and then 2000 got my black belt, and then I think not long after that opened up my first school. And it's like, when I first started teaching, I was like, my God, my theory is like, good Lord, can I teach? My worries were, could I teach somebody what I do?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there trying to schedule out my class, hour and a half class at that time. I was like, all right, from this time to this time, we're going to be working on this. From this time to this time, working on this, and it fills up my gap. And like, all right, covered all that. Now it's to the point where going, I don't have enough time to get everything in here out.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to get all the training I want to get into a session. And
I couldn't do that stuff.
We're the microwave generation now.
I can't teach
yeah,
nobody.
I took a break for about 2 years from teaching. Long story on that. Um, but and people that were still at the class I was at, that I'd started, when I quit, a lot of them dropped out because it was just watered down.
I
Um,
think it takes a lot of patience, and I don't have.
and some things were happening, and they was like, well, we're not going back. And they kept, oh, you can open up. And I was like,
Uh,
I said, be honest. I said, I don't know if I want to teach anymore. I don't know if I want to do
uh,
another school, because you get. It was nice to come home from work or whatever. Firefighters a different work schedule, but it's nice to not have to go somewhere every single night or every couple nights. To go down there and
I have to plan out things.
right. So it's like nice to come home and
So even if at home you're sitting there having to plan out your curriculum for the next day or
yeah.
whatever.
And it was like, then after about a year and a half, a parent came to me and was like, well, would you do private lessons? It's like, Yeah, I'll do private lessons for him. And I started doing private lessons with this kid. And after that first session of me doing private lessons, I had so much in here that was bottled up, and I was trying to get it all out in an hour thing. And I was like, hold on, so let me back up for a second. So because I'm overloading this kid with 2 years worth of stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, so after doing a couple private lessons with him, I realized how much I had missed teaching. So, you know, stars aligned, whole thing stars aligned,
Yeah.
and wound up getting a place from a buddy of mine who had bought a place, and he had a place next door. And I rented for him a small place, and I don't know. That's what got me started, and we moved from that location to another location, which is just down the street from where I live. I mean, I can literally walk. I can see my building from where I live.
Wow.
Nice.
So man, it's been so nice to get back and teaching and all that. But hey, we're way off a topic.
Yeah.
But to answer your question from way back before this all started, you're talking about the realistic stuff on TV. Being TV or movies, you got to be able to see what's going on inside of a burning building. If it's
Yeah.
if it's burning, you can't see nothing. It's pitch black. All that black smoke and everything, all the
Right.
burning chemicals from everything. I mean, you're not going into a fully involved fire that's burning with all that smoke without an air pack. One quick breath of that hot chemical air and you're dead. It fries your lungs. I mean, there's, just I understand it's for entertainment, but there's a lot of stuff that, in the movies and all that's like, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Do you ever
really?
shake your head at it? Just like,
You can't see in there. You're standing up. You can't see anything in it.
Reality TV isn't even reality.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
You ever shake your head at it though, Donald, and be like,
I used to, but then it's like now it's like, it's TV.
right, okay.
It's TV.
The paranormal shows aren't even real.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that. It's for ratings and all that, which I know they got
It
a
is.
storyline.
It's all
TV
for
show.
ratings and money.
Yeah.
The better the ratings, the better their sponsors.
Yep.
That's all it is. And the more merchandise they sell.
Well, think about the wrestling, business.
I was just gonna say that's exactly how
the same
wrestling is. You saw the commercial. If you were watching WrestleMania last night, you saw the commercial. All of a sudden, here comes the WWE shop, and it's like, with this special code, you can get this much off the entire, your entire cart, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's an entertainment business,
and it makes good money and good entertainment.
Right. And I like Triple H's direction he's taken, WWE, because they're listening more to the fans, just like this whole Cody and Rock thing. Rock was supposed to be against Roman at WrestleMania, the big match, and then the fans want to see Cody finish. So they had to redirect, their storyline for WrestleMania. This is what fans want.
Get to that discussion because those guys are.
Yeah.
So
well, we got Sammy and Gunther up next. So before that,
I am surprised on one side and not surprised on the other.
I think I called that perfectly.
I like Sammy winning. It just got boring for me there for a while when Gunther was just beating him up all slow.
Come on,
get to the comeback.
When I saw them, kept on camera shot into his wife, Sammy's wife.
Yeah.
And then Gunther was over there, talking smack to her, and I'm like, Sammy's going to win. You can't put that much heat on that.
No, and
not have the good outcome.
And what's that? You want to see the animal come out of a guy, attack his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Sammy breaking out.
All you have to do is verbally attack her.
And he was.
Yeah.
You're going to get that reaction.
And Sammy was, after that last interaction between Gunther and Sammy's wife, like Sammy's rolling over and banging and doing this like.
Yep.
I said he's hulking up.
Yep.
That's exactly what I said. Same thing.
Yep. I agree with that. That's a good word for that.
Twisting brainbuster thing he hit him with. I haven't seen that since his indie days. Maybe he did it in RH too, but
off the ropes. Yeah, that was insane. And then
I think it's supposed to actually be onto the turnbuckle.
He deserved that though too.
Yeah. He's another one that needed a title.
He went through a lot to get to that point.
I would love to see him as world champion one day.
Was Sammy feeling oozy last night? That's the real question.
But yeah, I mean, when it was a good match. I really enjoyed that match. It was exciting, and I got like really into my emotional part of it. It's like I'm like, yeah.
I'm glad.
It's like my kids are all sitting there watching, and they're like, and of course I got kids in the background just sitting there talking. Those like shh, and then the rock match and all, the Cody match and all came on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get some duct tape, huh? I'm gonna get some tape.
Yeah, my wife and I really got excited when Sammy won. We're like,
yeah, me too. He deserves.
That's when you know as a wrestling fan, they did their job in the ring. When you're sitting there watching and you're so super excited, it's fake.
Well, yeah, we know it's fake, but still, it's fun to watch. I've been watching it for, like I said, 50 plus years. It's
yeah.
And you learn
for
it's
sure.
fake. You think it's going to ruin it.
We was talking earlier about this guy at the station. Why do you? He asked me one of the questions. So, it's fake. It's this that. I said, what got you into wrestling? I was like, I got to think. It's like it started when I was very young. I said, me and my granddad would watch wrestling together, and I said that's where I got it from, and we enjoyed that. I guess that bond of us sitting down watching wrestling together, an old mid-south.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched it with my dad all the time.
My brother was stationed.
And then my mom got into it at some point later, and they were divorced when I was really little, so I don't know how that happened. But.
Yeah, well, and now I look at it now as like, I'm watching it with my kids, and my granddaughter my 8-year-old granddaughter she didn't even watch this. She was playing on her pad or watching TV or whatever. But, my older kids, one is almost 30. And then my other one's 24, 25. I don't know. She's in her mid-20s, but, they were here, and one of my sons were here.
Nice. Mania party.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. This is WrestleMania. It's like Super Bowl, except it's wrestling.
I used to do that when we used to have to pay for the pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, they come over. We cooked hot dogs and had everything done before the matches came on, so we could actually sit down and watch.
Yeah,
my kids never got into it. My oldest daughter is kind of getting into it, not by choice. Her husband, one, he likes wrestling, and two, he works at one of the stadiums at Milwaukee that they frequently, when they come to Milwaukee, for Raw or SmackDown, he's there for it.
Yeah. I went and picked my uncle. Me and my uncle, my mother's brother, was big into wrestling. And I drove up and picked him up, brought him down. He's supposed to get dropped off sometime today. And I wound up taking him back home the night after wrestling because they live out in the country. They don't have Peacock and all that stuff. So I make it a point to go pick him up and
the last time Last time SmackDown was in Milwaukee was like a couple weeks ago, and my daughter was there bragging about it. And it's like, I'm about an hour away from there.
Yeah, they were in Memphis not long ago for a live event or a actual televised event. And I'm like, one, it's Memphis. I wouldn't be caught in that place at night. Number two, it's like if I'm gonna go, I want to get ringside, and it's like
Yeah, that's what
I'm not paying that kind of money.
I could have went to that one, but it was like nosebleed section. That's like, nah. My wife's never been to a live event, so you want to be, close to the ring.
Yeah, that's me. If I go to concerts, I want to be up in the front. I want to be able to see real good. Just
Yeah, I'm like that. I try to, back in the day, I was always like that. I got when I went to the blue collar comedy tour, I actually made sure that I got the VIP treatment for that one because things were a little bit cheaper then.
yeah,
And I got their autographs on a poster and my ticket stubs next to it to authenticate the autographs because I was there and got them from them.
right. I've got
I got my picture taken with Sawyer Brown, uh, Black Hawk. Those were country bands. I've seen AC/DC 3 times.
oh, you suck.
Wow.
That's one of the bands I want to see.
The last time I saw them was the Stiff Upper Lip tour. I think that was 2001. I actually walked away with one of the T-shirts. I got a concert T-shirt from that I still actually have. The other one's kind of because I saw them back in the late 70s and early 80s. So those T-shirts kind of got lost or somewhere along the many moves.
Yeah, we went to Striper concert. I've been to 4 of theirs, and they were in Memphis uh, at the Elvis Presley venue they have there. And me and my 2 oldest boys took them up there when they were a lot younger. We made a big day out of it. We went up there really early, got there, had already bought the tickets online, and we went in and did the whole walk around the Elvis Presley museum they have there.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Walked around there. We got something to eat, and of course, we're walking around this area, going to different places. We see some of the wives, come out and
Right.
and looking around, and we wound up getting in line. We didn't have the backstage passes because that was your VIP. It was a little more expensive than I could afford at that time. So I did do that the first time I saw me and my family and a buddy of mine who lived out in Dallas at the time. He's passed on now, but we actually got to do the VIP and got to do the meet and greet and got stuff signed and I got some of that stuff hanging on my wall over there. And
awesome.
But that was cool. And then of course we went to the Memphis thing, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get in line. They're gonna open the gates at say 6 o'clock. All right, we're gonna be in line at 5 o'clock.
Huh.
I said, I want to be the first ones in that dang line. And we were 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, nice.
Besides the VIP guys.
Yeah.
And so we were like, I don't know, second or third row back from the stage, and we enjoyed the whole thing, and they were throwing out picks, and I was calling to the one of the guitarists, Oz Fox. It's like, Oz was there. He threw it and went to grab it. This guy in front of me grabbed it. It's like, crap. This was towards the end. I said, come on. He was like, come on. He threw it, and it fell on the ground, and picked it up. And one of my sons, JT, had gotten one earlier, and I picked it up. I was like, yeah. I was like, I got it. And then my other son was sitting there. He's like, this like defeated look on his face. I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, so I handed it to him. I said, here you go.
Aww.
So he kept it, which of course, long story short, I got both of those picks sitting in a collection of my stuff from them. So I got a shadow box that I got to finish up. I'm going to put a bunch of different stuff in there but anyway, I guess back to the six women tag match. I see an outcome of Jade. Eventually, her and Rhea's going to wind up coming
Yep.
together in a match. I see that coming.
Yep, definitely.
It's going to be a little while, I would say, but she's just so much super power on her. She's
Yeah.
she's just got that. She's got that physique and all that dominance, and I think them two clashing would be very, very good. I'd actually like to see her and Bianca.
But I think they need to take her to go to Ripley first, take the belt from Ripley, and then Bianca and her go at it for the belt. That'd be the direction to take it.
But besides, definitely the Usos were the worst match. That'd be close to. It was a good match. Theirs, it wasn't everything I would hoped it would be. I guess it was better than the Rey Mysterio match.
Right.
I wanted to see a little more outside action on that Rey Mysterio match.
Yeah.
People getting involved. You had too many people out there. And you did have a little bit, here and there. But there wasn't really anything spectacular on that match.
Right. For luchadors, you expect
high
flying.
A lot more.
Your next match, of course, is Sami Zayn, and we were talking about that one. Zayn and Gunther was just, it was off the wall. It was. I would say the latter match, and of course the last match was really close to the action wise. I'm not sure where I'd put the Zayn match. Probably third on the card, but it's a very, very close third.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard for me to make a decision on the best match of the night because the ladder match was off the charts. The whole Cody and that storyline was off the charts. You were going back and forth and twists and turns, and the whole, ref, getting told that by The Rock, if you count, you're fired. You're fucking fired. And I like the point where I guess it was a Rock talking to.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm starting not to feel too well. I think I need to eat. My blood sugar or something's getting to me.
Right.
Well, take care of yourself, man. That's first.
See you later, Joe. Yeah, always take care of yourself.
But I like the interaction with The Rock and Cody's mom.
Yeah.
And they were going back and forth. Good. And of course, it made me chuckle and giggle when it was like, and the camera was really close, and it's like, and she said, "That's bullshit." And I was like,
Yep.
It's like, oh, that's funny. But yeah,
I like that. Mama Rhodes. Yep.
Yeah, Mama Rhodes. And getting into that match, the entrance, I didn't expect Cody to come out first. I expected Rollins to come out first and then Cody, but the whole when they first sitting there staring each other down, at the match, I was like, and I kind of voiced it's like it's gonna be Roman and Seth is gonna start this match off. And of course that's what happened. I was like, they're not gonna put the Cody in there just at first, and they're not gonna put Cody and Roman in there together first. So it just made obvious who was gonna be the starting the match, and match was really, really good. A lot of crazy stuff going on and near falls, and you're sitting there rooting for Cody, and at least I was rooting for Cody and and Seth to win.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, it's like, why am I, getting all hyped and excited? It's like near pinfall. It's like, when I know that that's not the ending. It's not going to happen. And somebody was saying something. One of my kids was saying something about it. It's like, I was really hoping they would win. It's like they're not going to win. I said they've already established there's going to be blood. There's a possibility of bloodline rules. You're not going to throw that out there and saying this is a stipulation if you lose, and then that never happened.
Yeah.
So and with them losing last night, it really, I would be surprised if Roman retains. I just don't know how.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
I think it's going to be. And even when they went off the air, or they were going off the air, you could see the disappointment on Cody and Seth's face. It's like, and they were commentators were talking about, it's just a big uphill battle, and they kept reiterating just like it looks very bleak, for Cody, to beat Roman.
Do you think they purposely jacked Seth up a lot just for his match tonight? So like,
I think so.
Walk in there and
I think so.
Whatever he does, Claymore kick and pin, or
I think he's so beat up. He's so beat up on the ring that it's still going to be a great match between him and McIntyre. I think.
Yeah, and he was legit beat up too. I think too, not just storyline.
I really don't know who's going to wind up winning that match, but I see Priest coming out and cashing in on whoever. And if that's the case, I see that happening as Rollins retains, and he's so beat up after the 2 nights that it's going to be easy pickings for Priest.
Yeah.
Especially considering they don't have tag titles.
Yeah. I don't think he'll cash on Drew. I think it has to be Seth or another night if Drew.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow night. Tonight would be the ideal opportunity. He's so beat up after 2 matches, and he still winds up pulling the win out, and then he goes ahead and cashes in. I see that.
Yeah, and that too. I mean, he could pull out some.
I'd be surprised if they don't go that route.
Yeah.
Because they really hadn't talked.
Yeah, I see the cash in.
They really hadn't talked about it at all for a while, about the cash in.
Yeah.
And considering they just lost the tag titles.
Yeah. And Priest brought it up, didn't he? In something. Or maybe I was reading it on like a Facebook poster. He said, don't forget, I still have the money in the briefcase to cash in at some point. And I got till July, whatever exact date. But
yeah, I don't see him.
So he actually brought that up in something.
I don't see him cashing in on Cody because it's just the whole hype and everything pulled. And I don't think he's the caliber. If say Cody doesn't win, you have the bloodline out there. He's not going to be able to cash in on Roman.
No, he's not a Roman.
A thing was brought up during the post match interview. I don't know if you got to see the press conference.
I did not.
Press conference was pretty decent. Rhea come out there. She talked a little bit, and she was kind of in character some, but also making comments on answering some questions that were not character driven. And then Roman came out with Heyman, and they were full on character.
Okay.
They were full on character. Somebody said, all right, first question for Roman. And he directed his comment to Heyman. He said, and Heyman was, did the old aggravated look and pissed off looks, like, said the comment, the first question was to Roman, your tribal chief.
Wow.
Why do you, it was like jabbing at the guy's intelligence. So you're not intelligent enough to, speak to your tribal chief. And it's like, you need, everybody in the room needs to acknowledge Roman Reigns. And it's like, yes, everyone acknowledge me. And some female in the back said something like, yeah, right, or whatever. And it's like, hey, and Roman's like, who? Hey, who said that? Said, yeah, you can leave.
Wow.
And it's like, no, I'm serious.
true heel right there. Wow.
Yeah, so you can leave. You walk out. And of course, there was something going on back. Like either she leaves or I'm leaving. Interview's over. Either she goes or I'm out of here. And so that whole asshole heel during that was really good. It's like, man, he's really being an asshole. Because some of the comments he was making, it's like he answered something really quick.
Yeah.
He answered something really quick. All right, next question. It's like, so yeah, he was really pushing that character, even in the
that's cool.
The press conference. I didn't watch Triple H come out. I kind of cut it off. I went to bed. At that point in time, it was late.
Right.
I might go back and watch it. Watch Triple H.
My friend was actually doing a live stream from a paranormal location, so I was kind of doing both. And when the Bloodline match got over, I'm going to go watch him and listen. And so I didn't really watch anything after. So
yeah, it's on. You can pull it up on YouTube. That's where I found it.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Just look up press conference, WrestleMania 40 press conference, and it'll pull right up.
I'll have to watch that. I'll have to go back and watch that Thunderbolt Patterson thing too. That sounded really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That whole thing was awesome.
Not real religious, but I don't. When people say "Let us pray," I'm not that guy that's like "F you" or anything. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll bow my head in respect.
Yeah, he was like, oh man, it was one of the better Hall of Fame speeches that I've seen.
Nice.
Just for the whole comments of bringing everybody together.
That's definitely needed.
Separated.
And like every style of community I'm in, it's like that. Wrestling has its stuff. Race, real life has it. Paranormal is all split apart now. And I'm just like, everyone just get along. No matter what you're in, get along. If you're in that paranormal group, you're in it for the same reason I am. If you like wrestling, you like wrestling. I get if the guy did you wrong, but there's no reason, if he happens to be a black guy and he did me wrong, he happens to be black. He is not black. He did not do me wrong because he's black.
Right. He did it because
everyone get along.
Yeah. The whole.
And I try and live by that.
The whole separation of this group or that group, it ain't got to be even racist. Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm gonna treat you like I want to be treated, and I expect you to treat me, based on who I am.
Yeah. Do you watch college basketball at all with the Final Four and all that?
I don't watch much college anything, but I've been picking up here and there.
Yeah, they have that big call last Friday night or whatever it was, Thursday night, and some people are like, oh, it's race because one girl was black and and I'm just like, it's not race, and it was a proper call. I'm not going to get into it all, but it's just like, stop trying to make it bigger than it is.
It
was a ref making a call.
Right.
Yeah. It was a ref making a call, and one girl happened to be black and one girl happened to be white. Get over it.
And I blame the news media as part of that, and I blame the who we have as president now, and it mainly the news media is just so much of putting out this propaganda and putting something in there that it's not, regardless, I mean, we can go on and on about the political issues that we have right now, with the border crisis and everything else. And like, it has nothing to do with like the border crisis. It has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with racial stuff. It has to do with you breaking the law and being allowed to come in here and get everything that we have to offer and us paying for it,
Yeah.
If you're an immigrant, come here the right way. Come here the right way. But
yep.
And there's a lot of people in politics that has made their living off of keeping that separation. That's what they do.
in about 30 minutes, I have to jump to another stream. So I'm just giving us a heads up that in about 30 minutes, I'll have to jump to another
hopefully
stream.
Nick
Plenty of time still.
Yeah, Nick will be on here at any given time. He's gonna.
He's saying he's staying in the background and listening. He sent a message over here.
Oh, is he? Okay, we bring his ass on in. I didn't see that.
And it says he's still at work and he'll be listening in. But yeah, bring him in if you want. I don't know if he'll. Yeah. But I guess we pretty much covered.
I guess we'll finish up on our predictions or our things for tonight.
Let's do our predictions. And
let me pull up the card.
I mean, I don't mind talking the full 30. I mean, it don't bother me at all. So.
Well, I figure if we do this, we'll finish up our 30 here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you got Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. We kind of talked about that. I see Seth. It could go either way, but I do see Seth
go either way. And
and him.
We agree on Seth.
I think see that cash in happening after he's been beat down. And you got Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
You got the Pride versus Karen Cross. Or the Final Testament.
Yeah.
What they're called.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't paid enough attention to this one, so I'm just gonna throw out the Pride. I don't know who's been kicking whose butt or
I don't have a whole lot on that. I see probably the Pride pulling that out. I don't see, I could be wrong. This is one of those matches. It's kind of I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't paid attention enough. I'm not really a Karrion Kross fan at all, or his two tag team partners. I always say the best thing about Karrion Kross walks out behind him. So
you got
LA Knight, of course.
LA Knight and AJ Styles. This is going to be.
I think LA Knight goes over. This should be a good one.
I can see that, but I think this match is going to be. It should be a good match. It should be a good in-ring performance. Either way, who wins? I want to see some outside activity. Not outside people, but
and AJ's really more jacked now than he has been in years. I mean, he's a lot bigger. I was gonna say it'd be like a high flyer versus like a technical kind of brawler, but AJ's kind of became that brawler now too. So
he's kind of
and he's older now, so I mean it's kind of obvious. But I mean,
you got to kind of.
So I don't know who to pick. I think I'll go LA Knight just to go over for the stay at the top, and
this might be the.
I don't know what to call it. The push.
This might be if he wins this, he could depending on how it goes, he could go for. Intercontinental with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
They could start a feud there. Even AJ. Now, if it's AJ and say Sami down the line, I see Sami winning that. Keeping that. If it's LA Knight, I see it could go either way.
Yeah.
If it's LA Knight and Sami.
I told Jeremy last night when Sami won, just kind of half jokingly, half maybe serious. Watch Sami lose it on Monday night now to somebody. It would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I could that old school booking style where
if they have a rematch with him and Gunther, I see Gunther beating him on that, and then you leading up to a third match between them two.
Yeah, rubber match.
I hope they don't go that way. I don't want to
see that happen. I said it, at first kind of jokingly, and then I thought, well, maybe they would, and then I'm like, I hope not.
I hope not. Let's get this theory. All right, say Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest cashes in, and then Gunther versus Damian would be a good twist and match.
I like that, and Gunther's
that would allow Sami to keep his title reign for a little while longer. And then build on LA Knight.
Yep.
If they go
I like
route.
that.
If they go,
I like that. I like all that booking. I really do. I like that booking style.
Now, this is going to be a definite highlight match: Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
There is no telling what we're going to see in that match.
I'm calling it now. Somehow Randy Orton sent some kind of hella out of nowhere RKO on Logan Paul. I don't know what they're going to do, but Logan Paul is so athletic. There's going to be something, and I'm not saying it's for the win, but I'm just saying
there's going to be there's going to be some old shit moments in this match.
Yeah,
definitely.
And Kevin Owens is in there too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at that. Yeah, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, so, and it's going to be that. It's going to be Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at starting off versus Logan Paul. They're going to beat the crap out of him, and then they're going to wind up,
And Randy's going to play the heel when it comes down to KO and Randy, I think, because he's the heel naturally.
8 Infant. No, it's not live right now. It's we were just discussing the first night, kind of getting a recap of what happened the first night. Now we're kind of talking about tonight, what we expect to happen tonight, theories and that whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But it is
Randy Orton.
4 o'clock. It is 4 o'clock. As the pre-show, I do believe, on Peacock. Is that Central Time? And I believe it starts at 6 o'clock Central Time on Peacock.
Yeah, and I'm an hour behind or ahead of or whatever.
If I were you,
it'll start here.
If I were you, if you have Peacock, I would go back and start watching that first night now. You can skip a couple matches. The Rhea Ripley was good. Becky Lynch match was pretty good. The ladder match was
awesome.
Ladder match, you got to watch that entire match. It's just off the charts.
That was good.
You can skip over the Uso versus Uso because it was just a lackluster. It was
and Ray and Andrade and
Ray, and you can kind of watch that. It's nothing big. Your biggest matches are the ladder match, of course, the main event, and
Sammy and
Gunther. Oh, that was a good match.
Yeah,
so that was the 3
and
matches.
And the ladies, they just, of course. You can skip over the ladies pretty much, unless you want to watch it.
Nothing great.
Unless you want to watch Dakota Kai and Bianca and all them wrestle, if you're a fan.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the 3 matches you got to watch before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Especially the last one, because the last one is with The Rock and Roman and then Cody and Rollins. It was a very, very good match. A lot of stuff.
I was kind of hoping when Roman speared Rock on that, I'd hope Cody would get the win there, and then that would kind of set up Rock and Roman.
Yeah, and when I saw that happen, it was like, oh my God, and there may be something that comes out tonight, with that whole situation.
Yep. Maybe Rock bottoms Roman, and
Rock is going to do something he's going to hit Roman.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. I can't see who you are, but yes, thank you. My stuff ain't up, so.
But yeah, that Logan Paul, Orton, Kevin Owens match is going to be off the charts. It's going to be.
I want to say Randy Orton's been my favorite since way back when he was 93.4% healed, and I don't know if you remember all that when he first debuted and he got injured, and so he's been my favorite forever. But I think Kevin wins.
I think Kevin wins. I see either Logan or Kevin. Logan retaining or Kevin getting it.
I think Randy's jumping over. Randy might be going for a heavyweight title too, I think, again. They might be trying to put him up there to get against Cody when Cody wins to get that.
I hope they I don't know.
Extend it out a little bit. Not immediately, but like what's the one right before Royal Rumble? Around that time.
Well, Heyman said something in his Hall of Fame speech towards the end of it. He said something along the lines, this is a big era. He said, just wait to the next era because you haven't seen anything yet. So going back to that match is like, in my mind, is like, you're talking about The Rock turning on Roman, and having Roman lose, and that sets up them two to fight. Right. What if Paul Heyman, it's be totally unexpected, but Paul Heyman turn on Roman?
Oh, I like that. And to go along with your long-term thing, when right like a week before Rock came back, he was on like Pat McAfee or show or something. And he said he'll only come back if it's the long-term stories, not anything just to.
Word 789. No, WrestleMania one night was last night. You had The Rock versus The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth Rollins, and the stipulation was that if Cody and Roman lose, get that right. Hold on. Cody and Seth lose, then tonight's match with Cody and Roman will be Bloodline rules. So that's kind of where things are going. Everything is kind of storyline stacked against Cody on beating Roman. So that's kind of where they're going with
and
this.
If Cody loses, isn't it his last try for the title?
Yeah, that's it. He's done. He won't get another title shot from Roman.
Right.
From Roman.
Yeah, from Roman. Which is where the whole cash in up here, maybe, and blah, blah. But whole nother theory to not even discuss because it's all convoluted and crazy.
Yeah, we see. I mean, in my opinion, I see Cody winning regardless of whatever stacked. I just don't know who's going to turn on who and how the whole 9 yards is going to take place.
I want to see Mama Rhodes slap the shit out of Rock.
That would be awesome. Get over there and she just smacks shit out of him or hit him with the belt.
Yeah. Or see Brandy come out too. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
Because there are some female Bloodline members in reality. I mean, so to see Cody's wife come out would be kind of cool too. And take out like Naomi or whichever one it is, or Tamina, or
the other match you got,
Nia.
Yeah, Nia Jax. And that's a possibility. Who knows? Maybe she'll jump out there and hurt somebody.
Yep. And we got
Io Sky and Bailey. I see Bailey winning that one.
Yeah. I don't see how that don't happen unless Damage Control. And then if Damage Control runs out, of course, then we'll get the.
Now, here's the thing on that. Right. That's what I was going to say. If they get involved in it, then those other three are going to come out. You know.
Yeah.
And they're going to come out and do
so it'll
something.
be the Avengers versus the bad Avengers. They keep saying. I don't know why they keep using the Avengers thing, but they keep doing it, so I will too here.
Yeah. But yeah, I see Bailey winning that. I see Bailey.
Yeah, she has to.
Beating Sky.
It's interesting how they kind of just turned her face, just kind of.
Oh, it was already kind of building that way. You could see the dissension in Damage Control where Bailey was kind of on the outside and they're pushing her to the side. I said she's fixing to go babyface.
I knew they talked about a grouping of Io and Kari and who's it, Asuka.
Yeah.
I kind of would have preferred, and I know Io's the champion, but I kind of would have preferred like more of a tag match last night. It was just like Asuka and Kari against Jade and pick one of the two. Because Dakota really don't fit into the group right now. Minus the fact she's from Australia and they had stuff back there in, I forget the name of the company, but whatever that company was, they had some history over that way. Yeah, but in terms of just overall, there's no WWE history really, as there is with the other three.
Yeah, Crickets is
kind of an odd.
Crickets. Words is Word 789. It's like to see Goldust have his back. You know,
that'd be
crazier things have happened. I would love to see Dustin Rhodes come in. And have some kind of part in there. That's all up to, I guess, them and AEW.
And I'd love to see it be Dustin Rhodes and not Goldust.
Yeah.
I know what he's saying, but I'd rather see Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah. I think at this point in his career, don't bring Goldust back. You know?
Yeah. And unless he's like coming back to the WWE and they're being like, you have to be Goldust.
Yeah. So I also hope the crowd is more enthusiastic. Come on, Philly. It's like you could hear Cricket just say, "Hell, I think that has a lot to do with."
There were some matches last night where they were kind of just like dead too. Even in the Bloodline match, they were kind of dead last night, and I think that is because
it's so damn cold
and
you're talking.
I'm sure the Philly people were like nothing, like, oh, I'm from Philly, or even I'm from Denver, and it's like, okay, it's not. They were saying it was like 45. I was like, okay, I'd wear pants, but people who aren't used to that, are like, Jesus Christ, let me put on a pants and parka and so. Well, I'm from Colorado, not Denver, but
Yeah, they had some people ringside that was like bundled up really big time in there. And it was like,
yeah,
it's cold, and plus
and
you got the
definitely I would have
wind.
checked to hit him, brother.
Plus you got that wind in there too. It's like, so
and
that could be
all nice and streamlined.
Between the cold and the wind going, that could be a reason why you're not hearing the crowd as loud as you would be, because that wind is helping muffle that crowd.
Yeah, and they almost seemed reversed, and that's how the Philly crowd is. They always like, oh, we'll be clever and cute, and we'll boo the good guy and cheer the bad guy, and they think it's clever and cute. But I was like, you do it every time, though, guys. It's not really there. I mean, they do it on Rhea, but Rhea's naturally over anyway. But
regardless, she's like Taker in that
yeah,
that sense of where it doesn't matter if she's heel or babyface, she's crowd backed.
Yeah. Well, the guys like her because that cake and all that and that butt. But I like her. I mean, first time I saw her, I was like, wow. I mean, her wrestling ability, not looks.
I liked her. I've seen some pictures of her back when she was, blonde headed and all that. So like, she looks better blonde than she does.
I agree, 100% agree. And this is kind of how she likes the goth stuff, I guess, in real life, and like that death metal and
she brought that up
cool.
in her interview question at the end of it. It's like, talking about the backstage freedom for your character, and said, that's something that's been easy for her because she's allowed to be more herself than not than character.
Yeah.
So it's like it makes
but
it
I do like her looking blonde, but she said she didn't want to look like another Charlotte Flair. So
I can see that. And
I heard.
And on that, I can see, you got to stand out. You got to stand out from the crowd.
And she definitely does.
Stand out from everybody else. Do something that's different. And that's what she did.
Yeah, I don't like it when she puts on that like pale white makeup stuff. It's like, no.
Yeah, well, she didn't have it on last night. She had the airbrush makeup. Her and Becky Lynch both. Becky's was all pretty much gone by the time the match was over.
Yeah. Well, she was probably sweating a lot harder if she was sick and breathing harder.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we talked about that early on. Word said next time do it somewhere preferably warm. We talked about that early on. It's like, why would they book Philly in the colder months and not somewhere where it's, or even an open stadium instead of in a dome or something where you don't have to deal with all that.
Right, there's why. Money.
Yeah. So anyway.
And that's honestly it. I mean, when we talked about that too, honestly, it's all about money.
Money makes the world go round.
Yep. So we both agree on Bailey then?
I agree on Bailey. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we don't got to agree, but I think we both do. And I don't see Io. I like Io better than Bailey, I'll be honest. But again, I see Bailey retaining here.
Well, you got Io doing that crazy stuff back at War Games where she comes in the garbage can.
That's why I like her. She just does crazy stuff, and
what
was her name before?
As a fan and all that, they're pushing the envelope of how crazy can we get?
Yeah, and again, every time they do it, though, I cringe. I said it earlier. Every time they do something crazy, I'm like, don't get hurt. Yeah.
I find myself these days more watching after effects. And watching not necessarily what's going on, not going on what's right here in the ring, but if there's somebody else involved, I'm looking out the side and the corner, outside the ring. Yeah. Somebody said, one of my kids said something about, well, where's Rock? Towards the end of that match.
Yeah.
And Cody was taking it to Roman. It's like, and he was hitting him with several different moves and fixing to pin him. I said, Rock's fixing to pull him out by the feet. And sure enough, he pulled him out.
When they changed that camera angle where all you saw was the top part of the ref.
Right. Right. Well, you're seeing
he's pulling him out.
Yeah, they're really focused on really close up what's going on. They're hiding everything else that's going on the outside.
Yeah. I saw the one count like Rock's pulling him.
Yeah. But when they said, "Where's the Rock?" It's like he ain't been in a match in a while. It's like he's fixing to pull Cody out.
He's probably still getting his ring shape back. I mean, he's been doing training, but again, that's as you know, training and actual competition are two different things.
Yeah.
No matter how much you train.
Yeah. If you don't put the time in and get all the quirks out,
Whether
it comes time to.
Whether you're talking your martial arts or your firefighting, either way, if you don't, it's different from real.
Yeah, it's different with the martial arts training when we do tournaments and stuff like that, as opposed to doing the firefighter stuff. Because you screw up firefighting, somebody's getting hurt or dead.
And that's true. That's totally true.
But I'm gonna get Nick on here and close this thing out because my daughter's got to use the computer.
Yep. Oh, Roman or Cody?
Cody.
We haven't really talked about that. Cody. Cody wins. No cash in. No overcomes the odds and wins it.
He's going to overcome the odds. There's going to be some kind of twist and turn at the end of this.
Set up Rock and Roman for next year.
Rock and Roman, maybe SummerSlam. Yeah, I'd do it at SummerSlam while it's still fresh and hot. Don't let it time to cool down. And,
that's true. Yeah, I don't want to see more bloodline division, and so you can't divide too much.
I see. They made real quick. They made a comment. One of them asked Roman about his leukemia, and because they had announced it when they were in the ring together about Rock hadn't really been performing in a while. Roman is still fighting leukemia, and I'm like, I was like, huh? I was like, did they let that slip or what's going on with that? But then they addressed that in the after in the press conference, and he had said, he said it's he said I'm still in remission. He said, but I'm taking chemo medication.
Well, hey, Jeremy.
He said I'm still taking chemo medication. He said, honestly, I'll probably be taking that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Roman looked pretty good in the match. It wasn't like he was getting a couple moves here and then resting, getting a couple moves and resting. He was pretty much involved, through the whole match. So.
No, it's not live right now.
Yeah, we addressed all that. I guess it's Nick or Jeremy on the back end of it. We addressed pretty much all the questions there.
5 p.m. Mountain Time, live tonight.
Yep. So
real quick.
I guess we'll I'll get
Roman
with Jeremy.
Looked pretty good.
I'll get with Jeremy and we'll set up the next night when we're going to do another show. I guess we'll talk about number 2 and probably Raw. And at some point in time, we're going to do a show on the Bray Wyatt documentary.
I'll have to watch that.
So, and I would, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just.
Oh, okay. But
no, I was just going up, stretching my hands.
So if Nick, I guess we'll end it here, and we'll get with everybody and find out.
Good timing.
We'll be going for 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
We'll catch y'all and let y'all know when the next show is.
Acknowledge me. Right? The Rock style?
Yeah, Rock style. But yeah. It's interesting. I'm excited about tonight, and we'll see what happens tonight, and we'll get a show together and let y'all know when we're coming on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me co-host.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming in.
I enjoyed it. Yep, I enjoyed it. Only had to leave once or twice when my LASIK kicked in.
That's fine. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy. Hope everything works out. Hope everything's okay, Jeremy.
Yeah, just shoot me a message and we'll go from there. So
Donald, it was a pleasure like always.
I enjoyed it, man. So
enjoyed it.
If Nick's back there, go ahead and launch that those end credits.
Yeah, launch that.